This is Smithy.tv.
Hi, I'm Katie Ullman reporting for Katie Chats here at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto with David Daniloff, the founder, programmer of MacabreCon. What inspired you to start this?
Well, I've always been into genre horror films, cult movies, growing up, and I was the manager of an award-winning establishment, independent video retail establishment called Queen Video for many years. So I was immersed in that culture, and I've loved it my whole life, and I sort of segued out of that into an opportunity to basically start producing my own events that were film-oriented. And then I met a gentleman, a great protege of mine named Rodrigo Godino, who's the founder and president of Rue Morgue, and he was starting a little festival called the Festival of Fear in 2004, and I was coming out of video retail. I was bringing in a famous filmmaker from Europe, and we merged together. So, long story short, I worked for Rue Morgue, co-programming and coordinating the Festival of Fear for Rue Morgue and Rod Godino. And subsequently, after 6 years, last year, I decided to take branch out on my own, so to speak, and in a freelance capacity in terms of wanting to produce an event that was specifically mine, chasing my own dreams, so to speak, of having my own convention and programming and directing my own convention. And I had a great opportunity last year to do it in Niagara Falls at the Niagara Falls Comic-Con, which was great. So here I am, and now I'm doing it independently in Toronto this year in October. So.
When you were growing up, were there any films in particular that really inspired you to get into filmmaking?
Yeah, I could boil it down to maybe 20 to 25 films that played an influence, rather than it's really difficult to sort of narrow it down to one or two. But certainly I was influenced because my parents are from Europe. I grew up with a lot of European fare, like Fellini films and French New Wave films and that kind of thing. Genre specific as well, but more European and foreign oriented. But I'm definitely into those kind of movies. But I mean, we'd be here for a long time if I started rambling off names.
I'm really interested in how you worked at Queen Video. It's such an establishment here in Toronto, and it's been around for so long. Yeah. What was that experience like, if you could describe it? And
it was great. And it's great that the independent video retailer is still alive and kicking with establishments like Queen Video and Eyesore in Toronto specifically. I know it's happening across the country. Suspect Video. They've beaten Blockbuster. They've beaten Rod. They've won at the. It's just so nice to see these places still surviving in that market. But it's a great thing, and I really hope the whole ritual of the physical ritual of getting out of the house and going to the video establishment, interacting with people, choosing movies off the wall, talking about films with other people. That's dissipating. That's falling. That's crumbling away, and it's nice to see that. There's still establishments like Queen Video, Suspect, and Eyesore that are maintaining that sort of demographic.
Tell me a little bit about your film Puzzle Face.
Oh, where do I start? My cohort and brother-in-arms and my business partner and friend Spooky Rubin, who you may have heard of before, he directed it, and we wrote it together. And I acted as creative producer, and basically it's a wacky little cult comedy horror film I don't know how to put it into words. We just sort of stumbled into it. It was part of Spooky Rubin's Dizzy Playground series. It's the most recent episode. It's a music-based short film series. And we just make this wacky little movie that, ironically enough, ended up being the last appearance of the famous British filmmaker Ken Russell, who directed the Who film Tommy and Altered States, and he's got a cameo in it. And of course, Rodrigo Godino, founder and president of Rue Morgue, has a role, and a very famous Canadian heavy metal band called Voivod's in it. So we just wrote it together. I don't know how to describe it. It's not exactly, it's not for everybody. It's sort of Friday the 13th meets Frank Zappa at in Pee-wee's Playhouse, maybe. I don't It's pretty over the top. But it's comedy based. There's a lot of irony, and it was a lot of fun. So it's become very successful. We sent it around the world. It's gone to Rome, prestigious festivals in Rome and Tilburg in Holland, and all over the U.S., to Boston and Arizona and Atlanta and England and Brighton. It premiered, which was nice. And Ken Russell's widow showed up. Lacey Tribble showed up for the Q&A, which was nice. So it's going to premiere on Ox TV later this year for its official release on television, and we're very excited about it.
Great. And shifting gears back to MacabraCon, what sets it apart from other cons?
I'm focusing primarily on retrospectives because I'm sort of stuck in genre film between 65 and 85. Not that I don't like the product that's being produced these days in a contemporary sense, but I really am. My heart is in that era proximity. So I'm focusing on retrospectives, taking a film that I perceive to be worthy of celebrating, if it has an anniversary, and then sort of wrapping the cast, having the cast come out and appear in support of it, wrapping that around to sign autographs for fans, screen the film, have an after party. So I think really what makes it maybe different is that there is a heavy emphasis on the retrospective celebration.
Something I've noticed is that horror fans seem to be so loyal and passionate.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. When I went to AFM in Santa Monica, LA, in November of last year, which is like ground zero for filmmakers to cut deals and sell their product and negotiate and sort of schmooze. What I did learn was that out of all the genres that exist in film, the ones that are most financially successful and have the most ravenous fans seem to be comedy and horror. And I'm not sure what it is. They're very loyal. It's like heavy metal music fans. They're extremely passionate, extremely loyal. They're very dedicated. And anybody can make a horror film, which is great these days. It's not that hard to sort of start up your own film production company and make something fun in that genre. So.
And where's the best place to find out more information on you and MacabraCon and Puzzleface online?
Well, you can go to Daniloff. Right now, we're having our MacabraCon website built, and I'm very excited about that happening. We're going to make official announcements on March 1st, which will be some preliminary guest announcements, and we're negotiating multiple options for a location for it right now. And we've got some guests confirmed, preliminary guests confirmed. We're very excited. But you can go to Daniloff Productions Facebook. Just type Daniloff Productions in Facebook. Go to our fan page there. Click like. We're having continual updates happening there. And then macabracon.ca will be up and running in the next 2 to 4 weeks. So.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on all your success, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Katie Ullman reporting for Katie Chats here at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto.